Hey team, what's going on? This painting needs some doing, and I'm gonna step up and take it on. So come on, grab your brush and load your palette. It's painting time.
Be ready, grab a brush.
Give me a hell! Give me a yeah! Let's paint right now!
Okay, alright. So today, the plan is to have a plan. And that means trying to figure out what I'm doing and where things are going before I actually start. My goal here is kind of contradictory. I want to have a vision for what I want, but at the same time, I want to be loose enough to adapt and include whatever the painting needs to be successful and complete. After all, painting is an art, not a science. You gotta adapt and overcome to whatever reality is presented to you. So I start off with ultramarine blue. It's just a touch less dark than the canvas. I want the indication of substance back there, in the land where shadows lie. And then it's tree time. I want these trees to slip into the background and be really soft. No harsh or hard edges. The highlights are going to be super subtle. Well, that's the plan anyway. Yup, just throwing in shape and color. Nothing crazy and no big decisions. Yet. Just kidding. But we are trying to stay zen, so chill. While the trees are still wet, I'm going to throw on some highlight, and then blend the ever-loving heck out of it. These trees are going to be super soft and in shadow. See? Super soft. Most of the detail is washed out, and that's what I want. Maybe it was too much, so I'm going to put a little back in. I don't want texture or impasto layers way back here, so I'm going to use a filbert for soft edges. Now it's time to start on the cabin. I'm using a flat brush and burnt umber to get a shape in, and then highlighting the front just a little bit. There's going to be a window with a light shining out, so I need to accommodate the front part of that to show where the light's going to hit. The dark, starless night is not providing any light, background or otherwise. Maybe yours will. Mine will not. The only light I get to play with is coming from the window I will paint in and a light on the dock. That will come later. Now I'm gonna throw in some snow. Again, the only light source in this painting is, well, from the window that I haven't painted in yet, and a light from the dock that, well, isn't there either. But I'm planning ahead, so the area in front of the cabin is going to have reflected light on it from the window, while the flanks will be cloaked in shadow. Eh? Not just a hat rack, my friends. That's right. Then I'll fill in the rest, trying to keep the lighting scheme in mind. And boy howdy, let me tell you, it is a scheme. And I'm trying to work it. Excellent. Oh, and by the way, ultramarine blue makes an excellent shadow color for snow. I really dig how it mixes and plays with the gray paint. You know, I think there's a message in there somewhere. Blue and gray coming together and working together in harmony. Nice. And back to work. You know, earlier I mentioned a starless sky, and well, there is no sky with which to not have stars in. So I think that the painting would be well served to go ahead and throw in the suggestion of a nighttime sky. On the opposite side of the main point of interest, which is going to be the cabin. It'll be the central focal point. Actually, the window where the light is coming from will be the central focal point. As for the night sky, it draws a little bit of interest, but doesn't really compete with the central focal point, which again will be the window. Once I get around to putting the old girl in, it'll look nice. Well now, This is fun. So I put in a quick sketch, and by quick I mean ugly and rough, just like me. But seriously, I just want the approximate size and shape of stuff and a general idea where I want things to go. It's a dock and a boat, by the way. I'm going to change things up quite a bit by the end of this thing, and that's cool, because it looks ridiculous now. Yep, see? I paint over it. The placement was all wrong. So let's put in that lamp, so we can see where the light is coming from. A lot of people like to put in all the things really quick, so they can see everything and plan accordingly. But, not me. As long as the vision that was planted in my brain remains, I don't need the details. But hey, they're nice, and y'all can't see the wheels turning, so it's probably best that at least the light source is revealed. It's super important for the paint anyway. After all, the light post is a secondary focal point. I messed with the design a little bit, trying to figure out if this is how it looks in the old hat rack. It's not, but I'm a painter. I can literally paint over it, which I don't do. Apparently I can wipe it off as well. So, figuratively, I can figuratively paint over it. And that's what I do. Know what, team? I don't like the direction I'm going. But it will take me a little bit of time to realize that. So, until I do, warp speed, engage! Is important. It's the light source. Super important to get what's causing the pretty lights to go flashy, you know? It's the lamppost after all. And well, it's a secondary focal point. Engage! Ah! Here we go. A proper sketch. Same vanishing point as the cabin. The dock is a little wonky, but the placement is where I want them. Close enough for now anyway. ... he said pensively. Here's me. Hey, looks pretty good. All right. Here's reality. Oh, that sucks. That ain't right. No way. But this time, I literally paint over it. I am a painter after all. It's what I do. But here's a fun idea. The original boat was pointed towards the same vanishing point as the cabin and dock. Well, that's okay. But what if I were to use some strategery and place it to reinforce the central focal? Yes, this is a good idea. Trust me. So I'm going to turn the boat. There we go. And point it at the window. That isn't there yet. Hey, smart guy. Greg. Who? Me? Yeah, me. How about a visual aid? Okay. Thank you, sir. So yeah, now the bow is pointing towards where the window is going to be, which, as you know, is the point of central focal. And since it's twisted the other way, it acts as a barrier on the left side, sort of corralling your attention to the center. Also, it's now an eye magnet. Oh, that's cool. Oh, hey, it's also a secondary focal point. Wow. All of that by changing the direction and placement of one object. Pretty nifty. You know, I use my iPad for a lot of things, and one of them is digital art, which I have to admit I am not great at. Yet. No! Nothing sinister. I'm just saying I haven't done it for very long, and it's very different than analog art. Analog art, well, holding that brush and feeling the slipperiness of the paint, well, that's good stuff. Me like it. I like the tooth of the canvas. It's like me, white and abrasive. Ha! One thing though that I love, and I wish there was a workaround so I could use this feature on my analog real world work, and that, sir, is the back button. That rocks. I blow it a lot. Oh, also, and let me tell you, for this project, it would have been really nice. In Procreate on my iPad, you can select and circle an object and then manipulate its size, position, even its orientation, which is super handy. Like the boat in this analog painting that I'm doing now. I painted it a couple of different ways, in places. With Procreate, I wouldn't have to do that. Adobe has it too. So I could be super lazy and just throw stuff in and then arrange it later, and that's cool. It gives me an idea, quickly, of what objects and features I will have in a piece of art. I have to use my imagination in the real world. Ugh. Actually, that's pretty sweet. Anyway, I really dig that in DigiArt. What about y'all? Do y'all do Digi or any art? Or both? I tried to make a workflow for myself where I get an idea and hash it out digitally and then use the Digi piece as a reference for the Annie. It works okay. But my skills need to sharpen on the D. Feel me? Ah, yes. Now it is time to put in the indication of where the light is going to hit. You know, the indication seems like a weird adjective, weird way to put things. It implies that there's a mystery here, or that the viewer can fill it in with their mind's lidless, all-seeing eye. Not so much with where I'm putting the light. No ambiguity. It's usually a good idea to leave things open and let the viewer see what they want to see. But this composition is all about the plane of light and shadow from these two light sources on the cabin and by the dock. Hopefully it will be dramatic enough to capture and earn your attention. Time will tell, so stay tuned. So I guess less of an indication and more of a, it's where it's gonna be type thing, you know? See? Kinda like a sledgehammer. Bam! Light hits here, baby. Woo! It's a frozen lake, so the ice would catch the light and look glassy, I think. I'm in Texas, I have no idea. I'm gonna fiddle with it, probably a lot. Happy accident, here we come. Time to channel my inner Bob. Oh. But not right now. I think we need a break. We've come a long way together, and some rested reflection and dwelling on where to go next is needed. Something tells me my canvas is gonna talk to me. Psst, it does. I already finished the painting and edited this video into 2 parts, you know, for time's sake. Here is where we're headed. This is where we're at. And again, here's where we're going. The finished painting, the finished masterpiece, the finished composition, the finished painting anyway. Hey team, thank you so much for hanging out. I look forward to finishing this here painting next week with y'all. New videos every week, so subscribe and get notifications so you will stay caught up. As for me, it's the new year, and I have not yet begun to defile myself. So I'm going to the house. For Studio 214, I'm Greg. Happy New Year, everybody.